2024 Toyota Grand Highlander. Is this the best brand new 3-row SUV? That's what we're going to find out. Welcome to Car Corner, where we help you, the consumer, master the process of car buying and car ownership. The Toyota Highlander has always been a really safe choice for those who just want to have a reliable, well-built, and value-packed SUV. But the issue with it is that it's always been a little bit on the small side, especially for those who are looking for a lot of passenger space, especially in the third row seats and the cargo area. Well, Toyota has finally solved that with the introduction of the brand new Grand Highlander, which is essentially a larger version of the regular Highlander, just with a few additional features, slightly different styling, and a few other surprises too. So to find out if this is the best brand new 3-row SUV on the market, make sure to stick around until the end of the video. And if you enjoy and get value out of this video, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notifications. I post 2 videos a week, always straight to the point, valuable car buying advice, designed to help you, the consumer. So the first thing that you need to know about the Grand Highlander is that it is significantly larger than the normal Highlander. It is roughly halfway in between the Highlander and the Sequoia in terms of overall size, which makes it around 4 inches longer than the normal Highlander, with around 6 inches of additional third seat legroom, giving you a lot more room in the third row seat, and also a much larger cargo area too. So for those who do prioritize cargo space and passenger space, especially in the second and third rows, this is going to be a really attractive SUV. In terms of appearance, the Grand Highlander is not significantly different from the normal Highlander, although the styling has been completely changed, and it is a little bit more squared off and a little bit boxier for that more rugged SUV-like look. I think it's a very solid design, and I really like the fact that Toyota has given it a lot of tall glass all the way around, giving you great outward visibility and also maximizing the interior space with plenty of headroom in all 3 rows. So there's no question, if you're looking for a very spacious 3-row SUV, the Grand Highlander is going to be a really solid choice, and probably one of its biggest advantages when compared to the normal Highlander. But there are a few other benefits too, especially when it comes to the drivetrain department. You can get the Grand Highlander with 3 different drivetrains depending on your budget and what you're looking for. The base drivetrain is the same 2.4-liter turbo 4-cylinder engine that's found in the normal Highlander, and it's also used in a few other Toyota and Lexus products, including the Lexus NX and RX SUVs. This 2.4-liter turbo produces around 265 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque, and it comes matched to an 8-speed automatic transmission with standard all-wheel drive in Canada, or a choice of either front-wheel or all-wheel drive in the US. In addition to the 2.4-liter turbo, you also have the choice between 2 different hybrid options. The first hybrid option is the same 2.5-liter naturally aspirated engine with Toyota's 2-motor hybrid system that's also found in the regular Highlander and a few other models too. And just like in the normal Highlander, this hybrid system should produce around 243 horsepower, and it comes with an eCVT transmission with 2 electric motors that power the front wheels and 1 electric motor that powers the rear wheels, which gives you standard all-wheel drive. Now obviously I haven't had a chance to test drive the Grand Highlander quite yet, but I have spent a lot of time behind the wheel of the regular Highlander, which, as mentioned, uses the exact same drivetrains. And from my experience, I have to say that the hybrid version is probably the one that you're going to want to go with. For one thing, this hybrid system has amazing fuel economy, able to achieve around 35 miles per gallon or 7 liters per 100 kilometers, which is amazing fuel efficiency for an SUV of this size. Ultimately, a lot of consumers are looking for that kind of fuel economy when shopping for a new car, and the fact that the Grand Highlander has such a fuel-efficient hybrid option gives it a huge selling point over a lot of the competition, most of which don't even offer any kind of hybrid. And on top of being very fuel efficient, the other thing that this system has going for it is an amazing reputation for reliability. The fact is that Toyota has been making this hybrid system for a very long time now, and because it's so well proven and fully debugged at this point with very few mechanical issues, you can have it for a very long time and not have to worry about spending a lot of money on repairs. And that's another thing that Toyota really has going for it, a solid reputation for reliability, and that includes its hybrid systems, which the company has now been producing and engineering for well over 2 decades. Now it is true, 243 horsepower is really not a whole lot of power, especially for an SUV of this size and weight, but it's really not that significantly different from the base 2.4-liter turbo engine. Both SUVs should be able to get up to highway speeds in around 7.5 to 8.5 seconds, so not exactly quick, but more than enough to get the job done. Now with that said, the Grand Highlander does offer a third drivetrain option, which is the brand new Toyota Hybrid Max hybrid system, which is not available on the standard Highlander. The Hybrid Max system uses the same 2.4-liter turbo 4-cylinder engine that comes standard on the Grand Highlander, but matches it with a brand new hybrid system. You have essentially an electric motor that comes sandwiched in between the 4-cylinder engine and a 6-speed automatic transmission, along with a second electric motor that powers the rear wheels. And this hybrid system produces 362 horsepower, and on top of that you have 400 pound-feet of torque, which is really impressive. This is no question going to be the quickest and most powerful version of this SUV. Toyota estimates it should be able to get up to highway speeds in around 6.3 seconds, which is actually pretty quick for an SUV like this. And on top of being very quick, it's also going to have a great towing capacity of up to 5,000 pounds. Now you do have that same towing capacity on the base engine too, but my feeling is that if you want to do any kind of towing on a regular basis, the Hybrid Max is going to be the one that you want to have. Not only is it nice to have all of that extra power, but especially when you're going to be loading up this SUV with a lot of cargo and a lot of passengers, and if you plan to do towing on top of that, you're really going to want to have that extra power. And the other reason why this is a great drivetrain for towing is because of the fact that it has a normal transmission. The reality is that hybrid systems, especially the ones that Toyota makes with the eCVT, are not really designed for towing on a regular basis. That's not really what they're for. They're really for fuel economy above everything else. But if you do want to have towing and you want to have good fuel economy too, well, then the Hybrid Max is really the best of both worlds. Now, the official fuel economy ratings were not available at the time of this recording, but my guess is that the Hybrid Max should be able to get around 26 to 28 miles per gallon without too much trouble, which is around 8 to 9 liters per 100 kilometers, but we'll have to see what the official ratings are. But in any case, there's no question this is going to be the drivetrain to go for if you want to have a lot of power, if you want to have good towing capacity, and if you want to have decent fuel economy too. And of course, having that 6-speed transmission is really going to help it drive a lot more like a normal vehicle, because a lot of buyers are just not crazy about the way that a hybrid system works, especially with that eCVT. So the fact that this is going to have a much more conventional feel as you drive, it's going to make it a really attractive choice. Now, the Grand Highlander is going to be offered in 3 different trims: the XLE, the Limited, and the Platinum trim. Now, both the XLE and the Limited trim are going to come with either the 2.4 turbo engine or the base 2.5 hybrid system. Now, if you want to have the Hybrid Max with a lot more power, the turbo engine, and the higher towing capacity, you are going to have to go for the top Platinum trim in Canada. Although in the US, you can get the Hybrid Max in both the Limited and the Platinum trims. Now, looking at all the different features that Toyota is including, it's very well equipped on all 3 trims, so whichever way you go, you're going to have a very nicely equipped SUV. For example, on the interior, you have Toyota's brand new multimedia touchscreen infotainment system, which uses a large 12.3-inch display screen with a really solid user interface that also has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And on top of that, you have a lot of straightforward controls below the screen for your climate controls, your heated and ventilated seats, and overall this is a very straightforward and really well laid out interior. We also have a fully digital gauge cluster behind the steering wheel, and you also have lots of storage space throughout this interior. Toyota says that you can even fit a tablet inside the center console area, which is pretty neat. And not only do you have a lot of storage space, but Toyota has also given you a lot of nice features for all 3 rows of seats. For example, we have up to 13 cup holders inside this interior, and we also have USB-C ports in all 3 rows of seats. So all your passengers are going to be able to connect their devices when going on those long road trips. Whichever way you option the Grand Highlander, this is a very spacious interior. You have a lot of room in the front seats, the second row seats, and the second row seats easily slide out of the way, giving you very nice access to the third row, which again, you have plenty of space back there. And even with that third row seat up, you have plenty of room in the cargo area. Toyota says you're able to fit around 7 travel cases back there, which is very impressive. Now, a lot of you are probably wondering, how much is the Grand Highlander going to cost when it goes on sale? Well, Toyota hasn't released that information quite yet. This isn't expected to go on sale until the summertime. But if I had to guess, I would say that it's likely going to cost somewhere around 45 to 58,000 US, or around 53 to 65,000 Canadian, depending on which trim level that you go for. My guess is that it's going to cost roughly around $3,000 to $5,000 more than the equivalent normal Highlander, which is a pretty reasonable price premium. But of course, we're going to have to wait and see what the final pricing is going to be. In any case, I think this is going to be a really strong rival against the other three-row SUVs, especially the Honda Pilot, the Hyundai Palisade, and the Kia Telluride, all of which are going to be the strongest competitors. At the end of the day, one of the main reasons why a lot of consumers keep coming back to the Highlander as one of the main go-to choices is that amazing reputation for reliability. This is a very well proven SUV, and even though the Grand Highlander is a brand new model, it's not really using any dramatically new technology that we haven't really seen in the past. This is well proven Toyota components that have been around for quite some time, so you're not going to have to worry about those kind of early teething issues and early problems that you typically experience with a brand new vehicle. The only option that's really untested is the Hybrid Max on the top trims, and even then you have the same 2.4-liter turbo engine that Toyota has now had for some time. So in almost every category that matters, whether it's interior space, cargo space, technology, hybrid fuel efficiency, or reliability, the Grand Highlander really has something for everybody, and I really think this is going to be a really solid SUV when it hits the market. Now we're going to have to see whether this is actually a better choice than the normal Highlander. I think it's really going to come down to what this SUV costs and how it drives on the road. So I think I'm going to have to do a back-to-back comparison with the normal Highlander and see which one is really better. But I think there's no question, when you compare this against the competition, whether it's the Honda Pilot, the Hyundai Palisade, the Kia Telluride, or the brand new Mazda CX-90, the Grand Highlander is going to be a really tough SUV to beat. So let me know what you think of the brand new 2024 Grand Highlander. Would you consider buying one of these SUVs, or would you go for one of the competitors instead? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. You can also take a look at my other car videos by clicking these links over here. Make sure to follow me on TikTok and Instagram, and if you need additional car buying advice, recommendations, or help with getting a great deal on your next new car purchase, make sure to check out carhelpcan.com. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.